executive of a private investment firm, was elected president at Mount St. Mary's University, where he told professors that they now needed to stop thinking of freshmen as cuddly bunnies, and stated, "You need to drown the bunnies, put a Glock to their heads." This appalling example, related in the Washington Post of January 19, 2016, reveals a sad state of academic affairs. An increasing number of colleges and universities are hiring individuals with little to no education background. The bunnies, meant to be summarily executed, were casualties of a manipulative ploy to inflate retention records. Newman hoped to cut underachieving students before they could be counted in the ledger of his university. Tragically, Newman is not the only president with this corporate mindset. The New York Times, September 9, 2015, reports that this is the creeping corporatism of the American university. Daily operations reflect a business model rather than an educational one. According to Washington Monthly Copyright 2015, within the past 40 years, as colleges have grown, administrative staff has increased by 240% at the expense of our programs, revealing if we do not do something soon, the casualty may be the activity that we are sharing right now. Therefore, it is imperative that we demand a change to save our education system from a corporate-first philosophy. Today, we will document the causes, effects, and solutions, because as the aforementioned New York Times laments, the very lifeblood of corporatism is creating systems and procedures that sacrifice the needs of the humans to the needs of the institutions. Elizabeth Oratory and Katie Lubitsch joined University of Delaware student newspaper because they loved journalism. But USA Today on March 10, 2015 reports that the paper was eliminated because it didn't generate revenue. Like the incorporation of education, this problem was caused by the ignorance surrounding academic activities, and students are treated as customers. First, when referring to activities sponsored by institutions, there are two types: extracurricular and co-curricular. The Huffington Post of November 2015 reports that meaningful involvement in co-curriculars has a strong impact on intellectual skill development, overall college adjustment, practical skill growth, and positive self-image. But administrators are cutting these programs and refusing to acknowledge their academic value, which leads us to ask the question, why do we cut a program that expands a student's knowledge base? The Daily Journal of October 1st, 2015 offers the answer. When budgets are tight, co-curriculars are the first to go because we are evaluating these programs on generated revenue. Rarely do these programs include assessment measures which emphasize their educational benefits. Unlike sports, where assessment is drawn from wins, losses, or tickets sold, co-curriculars must draw their assessment from their academic worth. Which leads us to our second cause. We are blindly treating the college student as a customer. And as we know, college students are not always right. But imposing this customer service paradigm over our educational one is harmful. The Texas Public Policy Foundation of May 8, 2015 reports that this comparison has facilitated academic decline. The multifaceted purpose of education is compromised due to our monetary trade-off mindset. Institutions are creating environments where students simply pay for information transfer and not a learning experience. The Washington Post of June 9, 2015 postulates that if we treat a college education like a commodity, we are simply pretending that students receive their education from a college, the way a person walks out of Best Buy with a television. Bruce Harrell was elected president at University of Iowa this fall, but Slate to September 8, 2015 reports he has had no university administrative experience. He falsified his resume and received less than a 3% approval rating from students, staff, and faculty. Harrod's blatant disregard for ethical representation and his inexperience leads to two effects. Colleges are viewed as businesses, and student programs suffer. First, administrative spending reflects a corporate mindset. United Press International of June 3rd, 2015 reports that 36 private university presidents made more than $1 million annually, with Shirley N. Jackson of Rensselaer Polytechnic University making $7.1 million. CNBC of June 16th, 2015 furthers, public and private universities and colleges have expanded administrators' payrolls by over 28% between 2000 and 2012, more than 50% faster than the previous decade. Clearly, administrators are prioritizing their pocketbooks over direct educational improvements. For example, universities find cheap labor in the form of adjuncts who receive a fraction of due salary with no benefits. The Atlantic of September 15th, 2015 reports that nearly 75% of all professors are contingent, meaning they have no job or benefit security, which leads them to work multiple jobs just to pay the bills. And with fewer faculty fully engaged, student educational opportunities begin to suffer. The New Yorker of September 10th, 2015 outlines a second major harm. In an interview with University of Iowa communication professor Kimber McLeod, who states, universities are one of the few places in Western culture where market logic doesn't trump everything else. Per the guidelines of pure market logic, school newspapers, literary magazines, and even forensics programs are not viewed as valuable because no revenue is generated. However, McLeod adds, these programs contribute to the health of our society. We all know how the forensics community has been damaged to this business model. This past year, Rebecca Bergman, in her first year as president of Gustavus Adolphus College in St. Peter, Minnesota, decimated the Gustavus Adolphus forensics team by slashing their budget, cutting a coach, and claiming a speech sheet was nice, but not necessary. Bergman's qualifications for the job were paltry. She had served the last 14 years as a senior executive at Medtronic, a medical engineering company. Gustavus' situation is not an anomaly. In the past decade, we have lost over a dozen programs due to the lack of understanding among administrators and budget cuts. Within Nebraska alone, we have lost York College, Northeast Community College, Wayne State College, and Creighton University within the last 5 years. Programs with accolades beyond compare scrape and claw for funding and recognition. These utilitarian voices silence the voices of students. And without a strong faculty senate to regulate the decisions of the administration, the money game wins every time. Sue McCartney, advisor to the provost for academic development at SU and My Buffalo State, praises students for their diversity within their activities: food, fashion, technology, and music. But during her 2014 interview with Buffalo News, she states, take those out of the community. Think of what you've lost. The obvious solution is to remove the problem from the equation. But we cannot boot every higher education administrator with a business background. But there are 3 steps to ensuring the legitimacy of our education: internal assessment, external review, and student voice. First, within recent years, accrediting agencies have placed an increased emphasis on assessment, which has ignited panic among administrators due to the lack of clear measures. Inside Higher Ed, June 10, 2015, reports that assessment is intended to measure what a student is learning or not learning, and how it measures up to the guidelines set by the instructor, department, and institution. Programs with the strongest assessment measures will remain, even within business model, because administrators must answer to the Higher Learning Commission. Therefore, we need to reassess the way we assess co-curricular activities. If you do not prove empirically the value of your program, it will cease to exist. Within the forensics community, we can start by reading Southwest Minnesota State University's Director of Forensics, Ben Walker's master thesis, It provides a quantitative framework for analyzing the activity. I've created a business card with a list of resources, including Walker's thesis, that allow for ways co-curricular should be understood, even within a business model. Second, those outside the education system can make a change. One component of assessment is external review. When you volunteer your time as a judge, your role in the education process is both legitimate and important. Please, use your voice to share with administrators about the impressions of the speeches you have heard today. I've created a template, complete with the addresses of each of the university presidents represented at the tournament today. If you believe that educational experiences beyond the classroom are important, please let them know. Everyone can make a difference within our higher education system. Finally, let's use the corporate model against the CEO. There is power for us in the adage that the customer is always right. We, as the customers, must demand that administrators prioritize academic programs across all disciplines. Demand to talk to your administrators about the problems that you see with your leadership on your campus. On the back of the business card, I've created a list of talking points and questions that can get this conversation started. Speak truth to power. And in the end, if nothing else works, we will fight fire with fire and hit the corporate mentality where it hurts. Lost customers. This past year, after my program was significantly cut, myself and 14 of my teammates decided to transfer schools because we believe in the academic value that forensics provides. No one should be forced to uproot their life in order to further their academic experience. Simon Newman has been described by colleagues as providing a blunt business perspective to the management of a school. But the corporate model is centered around creating profit for shareholders. And if we continue to solely focus on money-making ventures, we negate the purpose of a college degree: education. Today, we've examined the causes, effects, and solutions so administrators can educate instead of dominate. The aforementioned New Yorker article reminds us collegiate programs have cultural value that isn't quantifiable. Please, do your part to save our education so every student in this room has the opportunity to be in this final round.